the elephant in the room, which is Christian Gonzalez. He's on the sidelines in street clothes. He returned to practice this week. He addressed his contract stalemate, and everything sounded bad in terms of how things are going in this situation. Nobody would say anything to make you feel better about this situation in terms of how it's gone and how it's going. And that includes, did you hold out because you were hurt? The possibility that, or just because you just are pissed off about this? And are you definitely playing week one? And we don't know anything really as far as this goes. You're Christian Gonzalez. You're sitting there and you're watching this, S show tonight with all of the backup corners. Are you just, was this a good night for Christian Gonzalez? Does what you see on the field behind him right now change the equation for the Patriots at all, to just say, all right, we don't like doing this. We don't want to give this much upfront money, but what are we doing here? We've got to get this done. Because what's the alternative at this point? What are we doing?
So, I think there's a couple different things, John. I think that, was it a good night for Christian Gonzalez? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it didn't hurt his value. I think if the Patriots had their choice, then I think they probably would have. And this is because then this goes to the whole depth question and what Vrabel said about it, and Bill Belichick's part in this, which it is a part. I wouldn't say it's a major part, but it is a part. That they've had so many things to do in terms of just getting the starting spots up to last year, just being competitive, which they ended up in the Super Bowl, and trying to upgrade that a little bit, and also addressing things that couldn't be put off anymore, like a developmental tackle in Caleb Lomu, an edge rusher in Gabe Akis, a tight end in Eli Raridan. How many times did we talk going into the draft? They have to come out of this with a tackle,
you knew it,
edge, and tight end.
All just three didn't know which positions. You didn't know which order, but in those first three rounds, that's what they were going to get, and they were so set on getting those that they had to trade up for the first two.
Right, and I think that if this roster was better and this rebuild was further along, I think they would have probably spent a first or second round draft pick on a cornerback, or a third round pick, some sort of higher pick, to start the process. Because not only do you have Christian Gonzalez with a contract, but Carlton Davis is not getting any younger, and so you got to get somebody ready to play after one of those guys.
These are two things. These are two things you don't want to have happen to your franchise, or if you are running a franchise. You don't want to be in a position where you have to draft for need, and they have been, and you don't want to be in a position where you have to spend big in free agency to plug holes, or be in a position where you have to trade future assets to plug holes. And they've done all of these things in the last couple of off seasons with the big free agent signings and Milton Williams and Robert Spillane and Carlton Davis, and then you trade a first round draft pick for AJ Brown. As you said, you're forced to draft depth at tackle because you simply don't have it. You were almost forced to draft Will Campbell because you couldn't possibly go into Drake May season. So they're consistently in a position where you don't want to be. It's almost remarkable that we're talking about this team feeling good about where they are, given the lack of depth and the fact that they've been so forced to plug so many holes in ways that you don't want to do it. You can't let the draft board fall to you. You can't go out there and look for value. You're just consistently trying to plug these big gaping holes left by all of those poor years of Belichick, roster construction.
Right. And this also goes to, I was on Early Edition tonight, and we were talking about, because it is the easiest thing for a talk show host is to look at all the big contracts that the Seahawks have given out, from Jackson Smith and Jigba,
a talk show host,
Leonard just Williams,
one who doesn't believe in the cap. Yeah.
Right. You see that, and it's easy to look at the Patriots and go, the Seahawks are paying like four guys like big money, and you can't even spend on Christian Gonzalez. Like, that's a simple way to look at it. The real way to look at it is because John Schneider did such a good job as the general manager of the Seahawks in building that roster over many years. You know who their big free agent signing was? It was it was Dante Fowler Jr., like 31-year-old well-traveled edge rusher. They didn't have to sign. They didn't have to trade for A.J. Brown. They didn't have to sign Romeo Doubs. They didn't have to sign Vera Tucker. They didn't have to sign Kevin Byard. And so, yes, the Patriots spent a bulk of their money in the offseason. The Seahawks didn't have to do that. They're spending it now. So it somewhat evens out. But as far as Gonzalez goes, I think, first of all, if I'm an agent dealing with the Patriots, I try to put them under as much pressure as possible because they are going to fold. And there is a natural stress, just breaking point coming with the season opener. Wednesday night, national television, everybody and their uncle is going to be watching this game. And the most embarrassing thing for the Patriots would be for Christian Gonzalez not to be out there in a contract dispute while Devin Witherspoon and the rest of the Seahawks are killing the Patriots, and the Patriots can't stop Jackson Smith and Jigba because Christian Gonzalez is out there. So I think this gets resolved, and it's either one of two ways. The Patriots cave and give Gonzalez almost all of what he wants, or at the end of the day, you cannot, if I'm the Patriots, you cannot make him pay a play for his like $2.6 million. At the end of the day, at least, give a show of good faith, give him a $20 million roster bonus that cap wise can be spread out over a couple years, with the 5th-year option. That gets him up to about $23 million for this year. And then you revisit it, maybe trade him after the season. But this year, the way this team is constructed, how they don't have much on the edge with what they have behind at cornerback, the Patriots have to have Christian Gonzalez for this season. They have to. So figure it out one way or the other to get it done.
I tend to agree. Thank you again, Greg Bedard. And again, as we told you guys, make sure you check out all of Greg's stuff over at Boston Sports Journal. You'll also get Mike Giardi and the best Patriots coverage in town, in addition to all Boston sports, as we said. $50 a year, $7 a month. And also you can check out Greg Bedard's Patriots podcast here on the CLNS Media Network. The folks at home, and this was a tough one. Again, you want to get involved with Prize Picks. You're waiting to find out who's going to play. Then you find out 38 guys aren't. So you don't want to fall into the Eli Raritan trap that Greg Bedard did last week. So did Taylor Kyles. But he didn't play. A lot of guys didn't play. So it was tough sailing here, but the regular season is about to start. And no better place to get in on the action than Prize Picks. Scorching summer, but I mean, we're almost into the fall, boys. So you know what's coming. You can make all your picks on Prize Picks. You've got women's basketball and baseball, of course, going on right now. Football preseason, which mercifully is coming to an end, going on this month with the real season about to begin. You got tennis slams, major golf on the horizon. No better place to get in on summer sports action and make summer sports picks than Prize Picks, America's #1 sports pick app. I've been watching a lot of women's basketball this summer. That's been a lot of fun getting in there. I've been riding Olivia Miles. Paige Becker's always great. Lots of fun with that action here and there. As we said, the season's ramping up. They're going to get into their playoffs soon. And as we said, you want to get ready for the regular season because football is about to start. We're a couple weeks away from the opener here. So make sure, if you haven't already, to download that Prize Picks app. Use code CLNS to get $150 instantly in your lineups. If you win your first $5 lineup, once again, download the app, code CLNS. You get $150. That's $150 instantly in your lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. And let's check it out. We're not there yet, Greg, but we're looking at the regular season, which we're excited about. And again, I don't know. We haven't gotten to see Drake May. We haven't gotten to see anybody yet. So we don't know what we're going to go here, but that's a juicy number, 229. I don't care how good Seattle's defense is here. I have to feel pretty good about the Patriots. We got a lot more time to make these picks here, but again, you guys see how this goes. Just navigate, very easy to kind of roll through it here. AJ, I know people are going to be putting more on AJ Brown here in this game for sure. Ramondre looks like he's going to be the bell cow. I think that's a good one to ride also. So again, check it out with Prize Picks here, America's #1 Sports Picks app.
Make sure to subscribe to Patriots Newsfeed on CLNS for all of our behind-the-scenes clips, bloopers, and much more very entertaining content.